and welcome to my channel When Faith Talks. Today we are back with the continuity of Buddha's teaching of 3 marks of existence. But before that, I would share 2 things with you. First, my very good friend asked me a question about what is spirituality for me. And second is we have an interview with the Hindu sector, Mr. Rakash, which will come right after this. The question, what is spirituality for me, is very important for the next chapter of Buddhism, which is 3 marks of existence. And why and how you will learn now. First, I will let you know what is my answer about it. So to understand spirituality, we have to start from the beginning. Let's suppose that you or me or only one person is born on this planet today, and there is no other humankind to teach us anything at all. But without knowing anything, we will have this unique connection or affection with the higher source of energy. Why? Because soul itself is energy, and soul knows the source of energy, and we have this connection without knowing. When we try to find out something without knowing what we are trying to find out, is that connection of higher source of energy. Let's say if I see a lion or a snake, my built-in survival instincts are my brain would rush all the blood to my legs and I would start running. Just like that, any other system in this body, we have this pre-built-in system of our soul where we recognize God or the higher source of energy without even having any knowledge about it. Now, let's suppose suddenly after this whole born thing, you will see all the prophets from day 1 of this earth till so far today. And they're all right in front of you. Now, the question would be, which one of you is right or wrong? Or the question would be, what does God want from us? Why do God send so many prophets, and what is the purpose of giving us messages, and what are those messages? When we will get to know the message, we will know the message is spirituality. And then question arises, what is spirituality? Spirituality for me is that level or the frequency where everything is only love, an unconditional love. Right now when we see that people love God, okay, yeah, they do love God, but mostly the love of God is very conditional. We want God to fulfill our desires and our wishes of this materialistic world. That spirituality is above that point where there is no condition. When we want God to love us, and we only want to love God because He is the God. And there is no condition of He loving me for making my life better or fulfilling my desires and my wishes. When that unconditional love born inside us, that is spirituality. So now we will see that in Buddhism, and as I'm representing Islam, I would say in Islam there are 3 kind of humans, 3 kind of mortals, and in Buddhism there are 3 kind of students and 3 kind of disciples. And they explain explain these 3 types in a very similar way. The very first kind of students are the one who have love for the wisdom and knowledge and love for the master and teacher. No matter how much hardship they go through, they would never quit just because of that love. And if they do something wrong, they will feel miserable about it, and they would ask for forgiveness so they can stick in the system, and they would never want to quit the system just because of that love for the wisdom and their master. Second are the type who after some hardship or suffering wants to quit but see no escape from there, and they are only sticking around by the mercy of their master and their teacher. And the third ones are those who have no love for the wisdom or knowledge or their master or their teacher. And no matter how much master wants them to succeed, they never wants to carry on and they never wants to put any kind of effort, and eventually they get kicked out from the system. Islam explains these three types, as in the first one is the one who have the devoted love towards his God. He wants nothing else from the God but his love back. This is the very first kind. The second one are the ones who are attached by charity. They have their share in the creation or growing of the universe and God's creation. And because of that, they gain the affection of God himself, and they stick in the system, who are the practical form of any religious person. And then the third one are the ones who do deserve hell only, because they have no love again for the God or for the system itself. Now let's go back to the story of Moses. The first time Moses saw God was his love, his desperation, where all he wanted to see God. There was nothing else. He didn't want any of his desires or wishes to come true. All he wanted was God. And God showed him on Moses. And if I see today, how come the same human who suffers, who feel pain, who feel happiness just like me, God shows himself on him, but he doesn't show himself on me? Why is that? To learn that part, it's very important to understand that Moses was a perfect example, live example of those 10 commandments he was given. If I tell you today that with the glass mirror, the sunlight can come in the room, and you go and put a tinted glass on your window and come tomorrow and tell me the light doesn't pass the glass, then it's not my fault. I'm not lying. The only problem is your glass is tinted, and then the sunlight would not come in your room. Same thing with Moses' example. Moses was given 10 commandments because he was the perfect picture, perfect example of those 10 commandments. Anybody who wants to see God the way Moses saw it needs to become a practical example of those 10 commandments. Moses cleaned himself and untinted himself for that light to come and cross his heart. When we talk about any religion, it doesn't matter which religion you're from. Those commandments, those rules are there to make you pure, to make our heart pure, because till date, God does want us to succeed. God does want us to see the spirituality. God does want us to see Him and find His love, just the way He wanted for Moses. But the only thing different was Moses was an example. All the prophets, whoever came to this earth, have been practical living example for humans, because human, when they see perfection, get motivated. So those prophets were motivation for us. No matter which faith we belong to, we need to stick with the rules. We need to stick with those commandments to pure ourselves as well, to get that light passed through as well. God still talk to people. God still show Himself to people who are as pure as Moses. This is what spirituality is in my point of view. We'll go to our next chapter of 3 Marks of Existence right after this interview with Mr. Prakash Joshi. Thank you for watching.